Well, hello, IDS 105 students, and welcome back and welcome to week 2 here in your IDS 105 class. Real quick, it's Melanie Shop, your IDS 105 Learning Community Facilitator, and I wanted to run you through everything for week 2. So, just like last week, you can find everything that is due for this week 2 module 2 in your IDS 105 classroom in Brightspace. If you click on course menu and click on learning modules, it'll pull up the modules and you want to scroll down to module 2. As a reminder for module 2, click on the introduction, click that blue, it gets you where you want to go. It's going to open up an overview of the week, what to expect, and always make sure you scroll down and arrow over. As a reminder, there is so much content and reading that's actually within the module, not like a ton, but this is always a great place that'll help you answer questions and get information for your assignments too. So don't forget to review what is actually within the module itself. Scroll down and click over. Always be sure to review those required resources section. It'll give you the textbook chapter or chapters you need to read, plus any helpful like videos or additional support that just might benefit you from week to week in your classroom space, okay? So this week, here in week 2, you have a warm-up, which is like that open book quiz. As a reminder, this is something that you can take multiple times to earn your best score. And I always encourage students, review your module reading and then go ahead and do any of the assigned required resources and then go in and take the warm-up. This week, your warm-up is graded. Now, warm-ups auto grade. So as soon as you click submit when you're done taking it, it's going to show your grade in the grade book. Again, you get multiple attempts, but I always tell students to make sure you review the module reading and any required resources and then take it, okay? Your warm-up is due by Sunday or before for module 2 as convenient for your schedule, okay? Now, the other big assignment that you have this week is your very first project draft is due. So, y'all, you are going to be working on a project all term long, and it is going to build piece by piece, week by week, to develop and create into what's called your final project. What I want to point out is for your project, this very first project draft, you are only answering the questions that are required for module 2, week 2. So click on that guidelines and rubric, and there's a couple of things I want to show you. First and foremost, it's going to go over an overview of the assignment and then your directions. You are only answering these 4 questions. The part 1, social justice. So you're going to be explaining the difference between justice, fairness, and equality as they apply to a scenario, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Describe how bias could impact social justice in this scenario. Explain how different narratives in society could impact social justice in your scenario that you're going to pick. And then explain the core principles of social justice in your chosen scenario. Okay, now, what is a scenario? Where do I find it? Scroll down to the supporting materials. You will see this project scenarios document. Pop it open. Now, what I wanted to point out is that for this project, this is your very first project draft. So you want to open up this document first and you want to review it because you are going to be picking one scenario and sticking with it all term, okay? So every time you have a project draft due, you're going to be going back to whatever scenario you picked this week, and that's going to help you answer the questions in addition to any personal or professional experience you want to add to it, okay? So the scenarios, you have a school scenario, a personal scenario, and you have a workplace scenario, okay? These scenarios are listed here with the details and the information. So if one of those scenarios, you are like, yeah, that's easy for me to understand because I have experience with it, or maybe you're just interested in that topic and you think it'd be easy to answer the questions from week to week, that is the scenario that you pick. If you're somebody that's like, oh, I like these, but I think I might have one that might be better, you can create your own, okay? So again, pick one and you stick with it all term long. School, personal, workplace, or create your own. Now, if you create your own, it is so important for you to understand that you have to have all pieces and parts of this. So when you go to turn in your very first project draft, if you choose to create your own one, you need to write out your scenario, all the pieces and parts, the who, the what, the when, the where. There has to be a conflict in there. And it has to be enough that your instructor can understand what you're talking about, and you'll also be able to answer the questions from week to week, okay? Now, you don't have to have it approved, But when you turn it in, if your instructor needs more information, or you might need to like change it or update your scenario a little bit, if again, you're doing the create your own, they'll let you know that, okay? So again, you pick one of these 3 scenarios, or you can create your own. Just make sure you have all pieces and parts and all the details of the who, the what, the when, the where, and a conflict, okay? Now, for your project draft, what I wanted to point out is you have a template for this assignment. That means that you have this wonderful little document that you can actually just click on, and it'll download to your computer, and you can pop it open. And the cool thing is you click on this little enable editing, and you can type directly in it. Now, if you picked personal, school, or workplace, you would literally just take this out and you would be like, I picked, let's say workplace is the one that I picked. I can't type today. Okay, but if you did create your own, remember you need all the details in there. The who, the what, the when, the where, and make sure there's a conflict, okay? For week 2, module 2, you are only answering these questions right here. I'm going to highlight it for you, okay? You'll notice it says part 1, social justice, complete this section of module 2. Here's the questions. Again, there's a question. You're going to think about your scenario that you chose. Remember, you're sticking with it for the entire project, so all term. You're going to think about the scenario that you chose, and then you're going to think about any personal, professional, or any experience you might have, and you want to make sure you type right in here all the details, all the information, okay? Again, you're only answering these 4 questions for week 2. Now, when you have the template open, if you're not sure what scenario you might want to pick, I encourage you to kind of scroll through and look at the questions. So this part 1, you're answering here in week 2. Next week in week 3, you're going to answer part 2, and it says complete the section of module 3. Module 4, you have a set of questions you're going to answer, and then in week 5, module 5, you have a set of questions you're going to answer, okay? Again, kind of review it, look through it, see what scenario would best align with you and your experiences or what you're interested in, because you're keeping it with you all term long. However, for week 2, module 2, you're just answering these first set of questions, okay? Then you'll save it and you will upload it underneath your project, okay? So that is what you have for module 2, week 2, okay? It's just really important to make sure that you, again, look under learning modules, go under module 2, remember what we got. We got that warm up, and then you have that very first project draft, okay? As a reminder, because this is kind of the first bigger writing assignment and it's a big part of your project because you're getting started on it, I always encourage students to utilize the resources we have at SNHU. So click on academic support, go to written feedback. You can actually upload and submit any of your drafts of writing assignments for written feedback, select the areas you want the tutor to focus on, and they'll give you targeted feedback, okay? As a reminder, project draft and warm-up are due by Sunday of week 2 or before, as convenient for your schedule. If you get stuck, you're not sure on something, do not hesitate to reach out to your instructor or your SNHU advisor. Have an amazing week 2. You got this.